Okay guys, so now it's trying to go for the next level where here we are going to understand now what actually is your knowledge related to the lightning application, the lightning component and lightning JS controller. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pass on a raw code, a code which is not exactly as per our requirement. Otherwise, then how it will be called as assignment if I'm giving you the direct answer. So please note here. Now I'm going to give you a raw code. You need to work on that raw code without going to your Salesforce environment, because that you need to do letterwords. So the syntax error and all these things you need to tackle letterwords. Okay, so please note I'm going to give you some kind of code. So please check your chat box. I'm pasting the code. You need to modify the code in such a way that here you need to modify the code in such a way that here whenever I am going to give a name. Okay, so what is the requirement is whenever I'm going to give you any kind of name, what you need to do is you need to take values in a separated format. Let's say you are going to take the value from the customer, uh, uh, um, let's say from the separated format, first name last name, something like this, and then you need to show it in the full name format. Okay, so let me mention here the business requirement, live assignment, and the theme is this. Okay, so business requirement, take take uh, information take information from customer like first name, last name, and display it like Outlook format. What is the meaning of Outlook format? Ever you saw that? So please note, if you are using Outlook in your company, then uh, you may you may have got this idea. So for example, let's say your first name is something like this, your last name is something like this, then please note your Outlook name. When you see your Outlook, you will easily understand that it is something like this. Okay, fine. This is your live assignment. So as this topic is completed here before this assignment, so let me write double line. So in the notes, you'll understand that when I'm writing double line, it means it's a next topic. Okay, so I'm just going to paste now code in the chat box. Take this code and modify this code and write the solution here only. Take this code and make the modifications. Please proceed. I need I need the facility by which I can enter first name, last name. Okay, and then I should get an output as a Outlook name. Okay, so make some changes accordingly and ensure that your code, if I'm going to just copy paste, it should work. Okay, just by copy paste, your code should work. So there should be no mistake in that. Any kind of confusion you have, let me know while understanding the code. When you understand the pseudo code without writing it in a developer console and all, it is the best way to learn code, because right now you have no idea how the code is going to work and still you're trying to understand. It means you are trying to understand in a natural way, not just by pasting and running the output. So this is the best way. That is the reason I'm telling in the that is the reason in the class, in our live sessions, I never ask you, or I tell, don't use the developer console, write in a notepad. The person who able to write the code in notepad, he can write code anywhere and he can get any kind of knowledge of code. Okay. Last 2 minutes. Okay, I'm getting the answers now. Very good. Last half minute. Last half minute. Okay. So now let me see. I'm going to take any random name. I'm going to take any random name, so that from that name it will be easy for us to learn or understand the mistake. So just give 1 second. I'm going to copy one code. Yeah, no problem, no problem. This small things like combining and all is not an issue. You can leave that. Okay, now guys, I'm going to copy the code of random student and paste it here. Okay, now let's see whether this guy did correctly or not. So first of all, he created application with this extend so that the look and feel of lightning will come. Absolutely correct. Next, line number 3, he is calling a component. Okay, no problem. Line number 4, closing application, all done. Good. Line number 6, he is starting component. 7, declared component. Okay, 9, he is creating one entity, or let's say an input text for first name and ID is first name, place under first. Okay, no issues. Instead of that, you can also mention first name, and here also you can mention properly last name so that customer can understand. And line number 10, input text label, last name, ID is different. Very good. If ID is same, Salesforce will throw error. It's like having the same bank account number for two people. Is it possible? No. Similarly, here also, it's not possible. Then he is creating a button, and all these are part of UI namespace. So it's correct. UI input text, UI button, all these things. Whereas the application or component we create with the Aura namespace, because the definitions of all these things is created in Aura namespace. The definition of command button, apex page, apex output text, apex output table, or page block table, all this mentioned in the visual force page in the namespace, or you can say the business logic bundle called as apex. Similarly here the business logic bundle is aura colon or UI colon, etc. Okay, so just trust this basic things you need to remember, and that's it. There is nothing difficult apart from this. Then line number 11, 11 here writing a button. The button ID is this. Okay, no problem. And he is performing by submit. He's going to call a function called as get info. Okay, so it means there should be one get info function. Let's double click on this whether see it available or not. Yes, there is something called as get info at line number 19, means he is correct. Okay, and now he is bringing something else new. uh, so because of that he is modified now output text name to display. Okay, and all fine. So you can see name to display, and here find it's matching, right? Here you can see first name here matching, last name here matching, so he's writing correctly. Okay, I'm using notepad plus plus because it shows immediately if the spelling is matching and name is matching. Now in the JS controller he is writing a get info function, correct. Then he's expecting only component, that is fine. Then he is declaring three variables without worrying about any type of the variable because it's a common flat type var. Very good. Then he is declaring he's saying that I want to find from component something with the name first name, and what he wants v dot value means something related to view, correct. Then he is taking in the same format the last name in line number 21, correct. Then he is combining all this last name and full name. Okay, so he said frankly that I don't know how to combine this, so I appreciate that, not a problem. You can just do like this also, full name, and let's say you can mention here like plus sign, and you can just give some kind of comma, something like this. You can give a plus sign, you can combine this. Okay, not a problem. And then he mentioned a variable he for which getting the hold control of that particular entity. He got the hold of the entity, he took the reference, and he's going to put the value set, and that's it. Okay, so now let me, it's again similar code I have written. So you can see here that just I'm mentioning in this way. Okay, in this way, or you can simply write also the first name last name in a single combined manner and also show the value accordingly, not a problem. Okay, and now just run the code, and here I'm writing first name equal to Shekhar and something like this as a last name, and then press on submit. So Outlook name is this. Okay, now what we'll do, we'll try to use this component in a live mode for our customer. Okay, because we want to see quick result and we want to see everything in a quick format. So before I forget, first of all let me copy the code because that will be under your notes. So let me now close this. Code for this is this. Now you guys are very comfortable to understand what is component and what is code, right? So you can very easily understand where is that component. what is component, what is application. So by looking at the name also you can understand where the code of the component is getting started. Okay, I'm skipping this heading intentionally because I want you guys to be comfortable when you just get such kind of code, then you should be able to understand what actually I'm writing. So by JS code and everything you can see, just when you understand there is something bracket like this, it's a JS code, right? So this way you should understand how actually the code is being generated or where to use what code. So double line, and now let me show you how to use this in a live mode. Let's do one thing. Come to your home page. Come to your home page. The quickest way to see your code working is click on this. Click on this. Okay, that wrench icon. That wrench icon, and there you can see edit page, right? Edit page. Click on that. It is going to directly leave this current home page and going to build a designer page. Means we can build a home page by this. This is the reason why lightning programming is very fast and quick and easy to implement. Drag and drop component, and that's it. Wherever you use it will work, no problem. Okay, so this way you can see every item is a component. This is also component, this is also component, this is also component, this is also component, this is also component. All these are components. Whatever you need, bring and show it here. Okay, what I will do, I will use this area for all our work. Okay, so I'm going to just remove this. Okay, and you can just add any name here. Okay, and I'm just going to add. Now this is the area. Okay, I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to add here my component where you can see my components all created here at the left hand side. Okay, so just come down, and all custom components are my components. Okay, all custom components are our created components. So what is our name of the component? What was the name we give? Training lightning app with controller. So let me search something like this. Something like training. Anything from training it's going to come, which all we have seen till this point. So last session we have seen this first component. You can see now we are getting this component. So this will become easy for you to understand what all things we have done till this point. So second one is today's no, where is that? Wait, it's not coming. Training lightning app with controller, correct? Okay, 1 minute now. So here, let me just show you. Just give 1 second. Let me open one control component. So just give 1 minute. Let me open the component. It's actually bringing some other things also in that list. So that is the reason some multiple values are coming, but you can leave it because it is something coming which is from the previous batch, and anyways that we are going to see in our training program as well. Okay, so first of all, what actually you need to do is that whenever you are going to use any kind of such functionality which is necessary to be displayed or to be shown and at the home page or something like that, always remember that you first of all need to understand that while creating the lightning component, it will ask you multiple things, where you want to show this and where you want to work on this, etc, etc. At that time only you should be able to make some kind of click. That is, I'm going to show you. If you make that click, then you will be able to use any kind of such lightning entities with your code. Okay, pay attention. Another important lesson for you, another important knowledge for you. Click on this, click on new lightning component. Okay, now let me show you. New lightning component, this one, this one, or this one. These kind of things helps you to show some information on the lightning page and lightning record page and etc etc, if you remember the previous session, right? So according to that, we need to mention this lightning component is usable on the pages, and then only it will come or be available for the pages. Otherwise it will be only available via application. Call the application, and from that application you can call, where is that application, like this, call the application, and from that application call the component. This will be the only way by which you can call the component. But when you want the component should be available on the page and etc, whether you want in community page or the record page or the lightning mobile application, for everything you need to mention at the top where actually you are going to use this. So this implements, the interface is very important. Okay, but anyways, nothing to worry. I'm going to topic by topic make you very clear on these things. Right now only focus on one thing. Flex pages all available on all pages is going to help us to show the component on all pages. Okay, now you go for the home page, and now you refresh the page and just try to search training, and look at this. Can you see this one? This one is ours. Training lightning application with controller component, right? Just to create it, right? Now click and drag and drop here somewhere. Okay, drag and drop here. And let me remove this because this is not our area, so remove it. Everything in this column will be our entity. Okay, now save it. So this way you can very confidently understand that how actually your lightning work is getting displayed. Okay, you can just activate this home page. Mostly we don't need to activate because it's already there activated. So simply save and come back. Okay, look at this. Our component is ready for customer. Look at this. Okay, and you can also do one thing. Click on this, click on edit page. Okay, so this way, please note, apart from that, there are so many other things, like you can add some kind of standard controllers components, and something coming from like a visual force page and all these things. You can do everything here. Okay, no problem, you can perform various activities. So now let me now save this work, and let me show you how actually it is getting displayed. So for that, what I'm going to do is, and by the way, just creating and adding automatically this will work. You don't need to create a separate entity, or let's say you want to create some kind of extra code. Very easily by just doing this kind of activity it will perform. Okay, so save and go back, and let's see your lightning component in a live mode. So first of all, mention here first name. So I'm mentioning the first name. Then mention last name. I'm mentioning last name. Click on submit, and look at this, your lightning component is in action. Okay, now let's go for the next thing. Now one small change in this. My requirement is another live assignment for you. Be ready. So another live assignment. Be ready for that. Same scenario, but with the theme is conditional code execution. You are controlling your code. Okay. Business requirement taken from customer like first name, last name, etc., etc., and the field should be like this. But but we need to also display the prefix like Mr. or Miss. Only two things. That's it. Okay. So for example, so the revised output should be like this. The revised output should be like this. Now here, please note, for performing this activity, please note you need to first of all, you can see that for performing this kind of activity, you need to first of all take the text field. Okay, so take a text field like gender, okay, and perform this activity in that format, and then we will go for the assignment, or let's say a home assignment, to convert that text field into the pick list field. Okay, please proceed and start the assignment. Your time starts now. Please proceed. And here, one thing you need to understand is, first of all, we are going to work on a conditional format. So how to understand whether this condition is working or whether the work is going on or not? That is the main thing for us. Okay. So here, for that reason only, what I'm going to do, that I'm going to show you how you can make some kind of conditions, and according to the conditions, you can set the value. That is our main thing, understanding the conditional thing. So next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to make some kind of changes, and according to that change, we are going to first of all work and display the information coming from the condition. So in short, we are going to set some kind of conditional things here. How? Let's see. First of all, I'm going to teach you how to use the if else thing in the lightning scenario. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a sample code, and in that sample code, what we will do, we'll create a component. In that component, just one, let's say some value will be there. Okay, some kind of boolean value we are going to create temporary, because the if else works on the boolean value, true or false. And if the value is true, then we are going to uh, perform something, or if the value is false, then we are going to perform something. Okay, so this is something very much simple, and this is something very much straightforward, where we are going to use in the UI and in the JavaScript. Both way we are going to use this kind of functionality. Okay, so let me now show you how we can use this, the conditional things in the JavaScript and the conditional thing in the UI as well. So see here how it's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to create, first of all, lightning application training, and then if else in if else in component. So in component level, how we can control this if else logic, that I'm going to create, and this is application, so app. Okay, copy, submit. Next, we are going to create a component, because everything comes in the component logic, and the name we are going to just extend as component. Okay, now click on this lightning page, see what's going to happen. Record page, see what's going to happen. Submit. Look at this lightning page, flexible, available for all page, and you selected record, so available for all record page, or has record, okay, etc. But anyways, we know we don't need this as of now, so remove it. Okay, now I'm going to create a simple scenario here because our focus is to understand how the if else is created and not to have any kind of other theme to be executed here. So I'm going to just copy one already created code so that we can understand how this lightning if else works. Simple. So let me first of all copy the code and paste here. Okay, now see here. This is something very straightforward component code because the focus is on if else. Please note we are declaring the component at line number 1, closing at line number 13. In this component, I'm declaring one attribute nothing but your variable that we already learned. The name is show button or not. Simple, we can give any name, always give this name only, this kind of names only, okay? Because your colleague, your team member should understand what you are doing. Show button or not. Type boolean. Now the type of variable is boolean and the default value is true. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to see here aura if, okay, and here I'm saying that the if condition is writing. So aura if nothing but is the way to write the if condition. Then the condition is started with is true. Okay, so pay attention, again telling aura if is the tag that we use. In that the attribute is true, where we are checking the condition. Okay, so in the is true you need to make the condition. What is the condition? Which should be true and false. So I'm just using or comparing with the variable or attribute that show button or not. Show me the tell me the value of that. If it is true, then show me the button, the UI button we are creating with the label equal to edit. Okay, or if not, and then if not, so else is this, else part is this, else part start from this. Okay, you can see now how it displayed. So this is if part. If it is going to be true, then only line number 6 will work. Okay, so code which will work when if condition. Slightly different is and some strange and weird way of if else is this, but anyways, this is what actually we have. Not the very simple way, the way we have seen from many years. Not sure why Salesforce made it bit complex. Code which will work when if condition is true, but it's okay, nothing big, just a matter of 1 or 2 lines. That is okay. And here, okay, and if it is false, then this area will work, where the format is aura set. In the aura set, the work will be mentioned what should be done after else, and the attribute is else. See how complex and how difficult Salesforce made. Instead of just writing if is true and then if false, something like this, we can straightforward in a very easy way we can mention, right? Or let's say else or something like that. But instead of that, aura set and then attribute else and so many things. Anyways, no problem if it is false. Okay, then there is no button will be displayed and that's it. Okay, save it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is click on component, click on application. I'm going to call this component, so you know how to call the component. C training if else in component, and okay, I have written app and then comp. Okay, fine. So save it. Okay, now run this. So right now the edit button is coming. Okay, because the condition is getting true. The default value here is true. Okay, by the way, let me just do one thing. Let me just copy that extend one because I want to give the lightning look and feel. So let me copy that extend line, implements this one, extends host SLTS, and let me close now all these things which I don't need. Close it, close it. Okay, now come to the application, and in the application just mention this, so you'll get the proper look and feel. Okay, now you can understand in the component you can see that the default value we mentioned is true. That is the reason it's coming like this. Okay, now if I make it false, false, save it. Okay, and now run this application. There is no button. Okay, now my requirement is my requirement is, pay attention, the assignment, a live assignment for you. My requirement is, what you need to do is here write the same component that you have written for the Outlook name. The business scenario is bit different. The same component Outlook name. The business scenario is bit different. Here what we are going to do is, if the first name, or let's say for example you are going to enter the let's go for this scenario. So create one single entity. Okay, let's say full name. Okay, create one single entity called as full name, and then a button, and then after that the output text that we are going to mention, that we already saw. If the person did not if the person, and also one more thing, that mention their full name, and second value is age. Okay, so what we need to do, that here you need to create a functionality in such a way that if the age of the person is more than or equal to 18, you need to mention the person is, you need to display on the screen. Okay, or you need to display one entity on the screen, or let's say some component on the screen where you show a message, or show one component where you are going to see that you are eligible for the you are eligible for the voting or election. Okay, and if it is not, okay, then you need to mention you are not eligible. That is point number one. And second thing, after that what you are going to do is you are going to mention, or also apart from that you are going to see one more thing, that one button you are going to show, that is the vote, and one button you are going to show is cancel. Okay, so now let me show you again by writing here. Understand this example, and you are going to do this as a live assignment. So let me just show you, 1 minute. Let me show you in output format, so it will be easy for you. Pay attention now. First of all, the output should be, the output you are going to show is the first name, then last name, and then age. Three things you are going to take. Next, then the check eligibility. Okay, the button check eligibility. Then next, once you are going to press on the check eligibility, if the person is having age equal to more than 18, which is eligible voting criteria, then you need to show something, congrats, you can vote, and a button submit vote. Next, if it is not, then the message, sorry, you cannot vote, cancel your vote. Simple. Okay, that's it. Please proceed. Meanwhile, let me mention all these things here in terms of the display. Okay, so let me first of all copy the code. You guys proceed. Meanwhile, I'm just going to copy the code of previous activity for your notes. So please proceed and start the work. First of all, create first name, last name, and age. You have the code already. Last 2 minutes for you guys. Last 1 minute. Last half minute. Okay, so now let me see the answers that you guys are given. So fine. It looks almost everyone gave the correct answer. Couple of things I noted, but it's fine. These are minor things, so that's not a problem. Okay, so now let me explain you the code. Pay attention because almost everyone gave the correct answers. Here is the code. Pay attention. First of all, see what we are going to do. We created the application. That application is going to call the component straightforward. Go to the component. In the component, we have written the code where line number three we have declared that we are going to we are going to write one attribute, one variable. Okay, that is nothing but related to the boolean value. Okay, so that is point number one. Second thing is, if you see here, that we are just setting a value, a default value equal to true. Okay, so that it will be like easy for us to understand, and it will be easy for us to implement the functionality, how we are going to work on that, etc, etc. Okay, next, so it's like a boolean value which is helping us to set the things, and because of that we are able to identify the value. Next, we are creating line number 562 text field, and this to text field is going to help us to ensure that we are creating the text value, and setting with the first name, last name, then the age field, that is the input field, and then this age field actually going to use for the condition process. Then we have at line number 8 the button that having the ID button for action, label is check eligibility, and it's going to call the function get eligibility. Now I'm writing two code blocks in the if condition and else. You can see here I'm checking if eligibility is not, that is just to ensure that it is true or not. If it is true, this code will be displayed. If it is false, this code will be displayed. Okay, so that is the important thing we need to understand. Now here one important thing which we can do as a change, which is I'm going to actually uh, get from you in terms of assignment. So see, now if I show you the controller, here I'm checking two things. Here first of all I'm getting the variable, what is the value of the age that I'm getting. Now we already know how to find the particular entity and then get the value, but now you are going to see something new here. You can see now if I know age equal to more than 18, then directly you can set the value of a attribute. To set the value of the attribute, notes for this code, this helps to set value of attribute. In short, this means I'm going to write here any attribute name, okay, and here value to set. Remember, okay, we can set value of attribute here. Attribute means variable, we already saw in the previous session, okay. And next thing you need to understand here, v age is a ideal way to declare variables in JavaScript, where it starts with v, okay, something like this. Okay, so this way, please note, it will be easy for other developers to understand, okay, this is variable, because most of the times the name will be very similar, so they will not understand what is variable and what not. Okay, so now let me just paste this entire code here, code notes for this, and now this is the scenario. Okay, now I'm going to save this and see what's going to happen. And here I'm going to give you one more homework for enhancement. See, saved, go to application, run the application, and let the code get displayed. Okay, so now if you see, this value is coming by default because the default value is true. If you don't set any default value, then it will come like sorry, you cannot vote. Okay, now this thing you can tackle by using some kind of thing like a normal variable, not boolean one, not true false. Let's say something like that, true false not set, something like this. Okay, so we can just perform some kind of activity by this when you are going to make an assignment on addition to that. So as of now, pay attention to this implementation. I'm writing the name, first name, last name, I'm writing something like this. Now age, I'm writing 16. Okay, click on eligibility and see, sorry, you cannot vote, cancel a vote. Can you see how it's working? And at 21, congrats, you can vote. This is conditional controlling the component via JavaScript business logic. Okay, now your assignment is this. So first of all, before I proceed, let me tell you what we all learned today's session. We all learn about the controllers, working from controllers to set our business logic, hide and show particular area of the Salesforce Lightning component, and also we learn so many other stuffs which will give you the best practices of variables, using the setting the value of the attribute, setting the value of the component, finding the component, and lots of stuffs. Now your assignment is write a business logic in such a way that initially this will not be displayed. Okay, so for that you don't need to go, the just hint is don't go for if else, don't go for if else, only go for if. That's it. Okay, so this is your hint, and write multiple lists, and that's it, your problem solved. And how to do this, or how we can modify this, I will show you in the next session. At the beginning, please remind me so I can show you this output. At the beginning, this will not be shown. When you press on this, then only it will be shown, and then we are going to see how it's going to work. Okay, so remind me about this and perform on this activity. And also one more important thing here, one more assignment for you. Write reset button. Also write reset button. Okay, so that all this value should be wiped out. Everything should be wiped out. Okay, so this is all your assignment. Do remind me in the next session, and we are going to work on that. Okay, I hope this you enjoyed this session and whatever knowledge you got. Now, yeah, sure. So we are going to meet on next Saturday. Next Saturday 7 o'clock. Okay, that is 25. We are going to meet at 7 o'clock. Okay, yeah, fine, no problem. Okay, have a great time. Notes, videos I will send you after some time. See ya.